Another episode of Billy Bird Media Group. Squeeze to Watch a Podcast. I'm your host, Fella B, along with my co-host, Prince Lawyer. In today's episode, we'll be speaking about the latest allegation involving Nicki Minaj and Jay-Z. We also going to speak about some of the conspiracies that may be wrapped around this situation. And as we go along, we will continue to show a lot of different scenarios that give us some means to think that there may be some other thing that's involved with this, just opposed to Nikki just having a small issue with Jay Z and some financial issues. Peace to you, good brother. How you doing this day, good family?
Peace and blessings, G. Just
Indeed,
scribing to stay on, like they say, stay on top and not the bottom.
that's right. No question, my brother. And like trying to do likewise, my brother. I know you probably have recently seen some of the headlines that's been going on with Nicki Minaj and Jay Z. And she was speaking about Jay Z possibly owing her like $200 million for some screaming and promotion that she did for him when he had the brand title, which was a music structure that he had at one point. I want to say that he sold that company for $300 million, maybe in 2021. She was speaking a little bit about what she's owed and etc. And to my understanding, it wasn't the first time that she actually said these things, but the magnitude of what she said it, and then during the time that it actually happened, because to my understanding, the Grammy Awards was going at that time, and maybe the guy Trevor Noah had made a comment about Nicki at the Grammys, even going on to speak about her being having a big butt and etc. And somewhat, I guess Nicki took offense of the humiliation to the point that she went to Twitter, now known as X, and she started to go off on Trevor Noah, calling him gay, saying he might be a punk. And she was also stating that Jay Z, still owe her money, and also was dealing with underage children. And she even went on to speak about Aaliyah and also Beyonce, saying that Jay Z had got involved with her, had got involved with them at a young age when she first came with them in contact with them inside the music industry. So it's very interesting to say the least, to see that Nikki is speaking the way that she's speaking at this time. I want to say she also even went on to speaking about some of the things that goes on inside of some of those secret societies and orders. And she was speaking about the demonic people and demonic things that goes on inside the music entertainment industry. So I thought that was also some things that was somewhat alarming that she would actually speak those things, considering that she's actually involved with the music industry herself, and she would speak out against it at that time. Those were some of the things that definitely started to come out about what was taking on with them. So if anything you would like to add on, brother, to continue on, you can at this time.
Yeah, that was interesting too. That she was speaking about these things in the music industry or whatnot. I mean, my understanding, she's still in the music industry. So
Right.
I mean, for her to speak out about these things, that's kind of strange within itself. And speaking about Jay Z and in that nature, I don't know what kind of riffraff or what kind of situation they got going on, her and Jay Z, but it's definitely something. But we also see her just doing a lot right now, man. I mean, she went from Jay Z situation. She been kind of rambling on here lately. She kind of been doing a lot of talking about a lot of different things here lately. And she been taking shots at a lot of different artists as well. You know what I mean? So I mean, I don't know whether it's she tripping or something. I don't know, man. It's kind of make me think, man, she's tripping or something. Like she going on the, I mean, that's something that been going on quite a lot with the entertainers. It's like they just go on these rants, like they just start just talking real crazy or something of that nature. I don't know if it got something to do with the money. I don't know if they be going broke. I don't know if it's. I don't be understanding what be going. I mean, for her to be in the music industry so long and for her to be on the choir so much, you would think that she'd be happy.
Right.
And I mean, from the money she's supposed to have, you would definitely think that she'd be happy. So I just don't. It's like I don't know, man. It's like the more money they get, it's like the more money they want, or is it that they really have the money that we think they be having? Is that what it is, or what? I don't know. It's something strange about that, man.
Right. Absolutely. But a lot of times it definitely equates itself back to them not receiving the revenue and some of the earnings in which they feel that they deserve. And a lot of times, we fall up under certain hardship and pick up a lot of expenses, and then they go back and start looking at individuals who they say that they maybe did favors for, certain individuals that owe them, and they didn't get certain compensations back for. And unfortunately, a lot of times that get overlooked once you have allowed certain business to go on for so long and may not have went in and dealt with those things accordingly. You even have some individuals out there questioning whether Nikki is actually working for Trump and his administration in order to use it as a political ploy to attack Jay Z and some of the those of that entertaining world to strive to use that as a decoy, another form of distraction from the Epstein files and cases that is going on right now that has
Mm.
been buzzing in from a lot of different outlets. You know, because she made a statement that she was against the Democrats and all those that was falling up under the Epstein situation, and some of these people need to be prosecuted. She even went on to speak about the demonic people that was inside of these different circles, but she never said anything about Trump. Because to my understanding, there's various information out there that shows Trump name inside the Epstein file as well. For her to come in and be the support of him, knowing that his name is inside of those files, and for her to speak against those other individuals from the so-called right wing that they call the left wing, and say that they are at violation and not him, make me question her motive and what is her true intent. Not to mention, for people who look like us, she made some statements about a month ago about the people of Nigeria in reference to the United States, and she made an incorrect statement in that stance about the people in the war that was going on in that area at that point. She was saying that there was a war with Muslims and Christians. In reality, there was wars with other refugee groups that was coming in the area that was actually causing a catastrophe amongst the people. Right? But she went and took into the political ploy and propaganda that was put out to attack these people in the name of Christians, but not knowing that she actually was attacking that village and those people, as well as people who look like us. And we understand a lot of the pressures and different things that a lot of people went through. So when they saw her get up there and start to make those type of stands, they was already questioning, what's wrong with her. So I'm as you, brother. Of late, I've been noticing she been doing a lot of things that has been orthodox or somewhat different in a sense from who she is. Now, we do have to recognize the fact that she is a watchful sister. She is very self confident in her own way. And if someone challenge her in some form, she will speak back out. So it wasn't surprising to me at all when I saw her jump the X, now known, once known as Twitter, and make the statement that she made. And with this situation going on with Jay Z, I think we need to be very clear that not that we're in defense of Jay Z, but just dealing with the whole situation in the Epstein file and his situation, and that his name was never in actually indictments or inside of FBI indictment reports. They were more so coming out of DOJ and was somewhat complaints that maybe someone had put out that he maybe was there or involved with the situation at one point with Jeffrey Epstein before them actually having any proof to say that he was. They also went back and they looked into Epstein's phones and records, and they could never find any time that Jay-Z's name or his number was in his phone or any information personally to say that he actually was connected with Jeffrey Epstein. I just want
Mhm.
to make sure that clear as well. But her herself is saying that he's dealing with underage children, and the fact that we know at least what is already rumored that he was involved with Aaliyah, and now we see him being married to Beyonce. These are some of the allegations that they're using to say that he's messing with a lot of underage children and involved in some type of sexual misconduct in some form. When really there's not a whole lot of evidence at this time to prove whether he's fully engaged with underage women. or he just happened to get caught in a bad situation in some form. Anything you like to chime in on, my brother, you can. Just want to throw out a few things there that I've seen coming through the headlines, there, my dear brother.
Look, that is strange though. That she's speaking on other people's name. You know what I mean? And everybody knew the main name everybody concerned about that keep popping up is the president. I mean, you got a lot of other names that they throwing out in the air or whatever. The main name that's actually that the people want the main name that people concerned about is him
Hmm.
because this is supposed to be the leader of the country. So I mean that would be the main name. You can talk about anybody else you want to talk about, but that's just like what they say the meat or the plot of a movie or the best part of the show. Yes, the best part of A-list actor, so to speak, is the president. So for her, what she shouldn't be doing is speaking about that situation, period. If she call herself supporting him, she don't need to even be speaking about that incident unless she's talking about him. And we can clearly see that she ain't gonna talk about him. I mean, we can clearly see that situation. I don't know what's going on with her, man, with myself. You know what I mean? And when it comes to Jay-Z, like you said, I definitely observed the same thing that those allegations were him for him being involved in it was not coming from a law standpoint. Those allegations were just tossed out there, so to speak. And speaking about those allegations, they were saying the View. I think that's still Whoopi Goldberg play on if I'm mistaken. Um,
Right.
I seen someone they were talking about Whoopi Goldberg name and all the cast, the whole cast she on, but it was to the effect of something different. As far as I think some airplane rental or something. From he must have been renting airplanes out or selling airplanes because Russell Wilson name came up too. And he hurried up and said, nah, he hurried and debunked that. And because he supposed to have been looking into buying an airplane from him. But a lot of the incidences, a lot of people didn't really know what he was up to. I ain't gonna say it, most of them didn't, but I'm pretty sure somebody didn't really know the other side of him. You know what I mean? He like Heckle and Jive, Heckle, Jekyll, Hyde and Jekyll, whoever they is. He had two sides
Right.
to him. Yeah, he was an entrepreneur on one end and a pedophile on the other. So you
Mm.
know, a lot of people dealt with him on the entrepreneur aspect. You had a lot of people dealt with him on both aspects, and a lot of people dealt with him just on the pedophile aspect. But
Right.
so everybody's name they keep throwing out about being involved with Epstein. I mean, he had a lot of major business inside of Hollywood, inside of these structures. He had business. We talking about the meat. We talking about the pedophilia. You know,
About,
we don't want to know nothing about no airplanes and none of that, man. We don't care nothing about no airplanes. We
right.
want to know which of these kids he was messing with, who else was involved with these kids, with the sex trafficking. We want the
Absolutely.
that's what
No
we want.
question, my brother. Absolutely. That's what you right, my good brother. 'Cause a lot of what they're doing is the real again a decoy of what these political people in these positions and a lot of these lawmakers who are in position as we speak that are determining and making a certain contribution in the name of this country. And some of these individuals' names was linked to being in indictments and being those that was involved with some of these children and also some of the sex trafficking of humans that was said to be also been on the island dealing with Jeffrey Epstein and the whole conspiracy that's wrapped around those things. And to say that a lot of the people that are politicians are the one that is making decisions for us and they actually living in these means and this form of morality is saying a lot. Saying that we have these people who we look up to or look to be honest, have certain traits that we would think that would be in the best interest of their heart for us as a people. And we know anytime that a person will go ahead so low to kill and sacrifice children in the name of such, we could pretty sure to feel how they care about someone they don't know, how much they have for adults in that respect. And to see some of the things that I saw about the current president And for what was put out there, some of his things actually was he found guilty on. Just that some of it was somewhat concealed to some degree. But it definitely it's hurtful to say the least to know that you have somebody maybe possibly running your country that is said to be measuring the child's vagina and auctioning the children off to some of the highest bidders to see if their penises in some aspect would be big enough to be able to penetrate this young child to the if you want to say with all respect or shame to that respect to the form of his children. And it says some of the people that he's involved with was there while these things was going on. And see, they also was involved and know some of the things that he had done just beyond those incidents. And when you kind of look at his children and you look at his daughter, you can see the detachment to some degree from him and her and how they interact with each other. You know, when they say that he also had some issues, maybe with her, where his pictures out there that he was kissing her in the mouth and doing certain type of things that was, considered to be unmoral in some respect. So we have to keep our eyes on this said topic, man. Just a lot of things coming out and a lot of twists in it. But like we say, we do know that just as Puffy, Sean Combs was used early on as a decoy to hide and to keep down some of the fuss about the Epstein file, we are now seeing that they are using Nikki as a decoy now to go against Jay-Z to keep some of that quiet as well on what some of the conspiracies and things are looking like at this point. Anything you would like to add on, my good brother, you definitely can this time.
Then I think you were speaking on this earlier when you now they scribing and saying he might not even be dead.
Mm,
I mean, we got some man. We
mhm,
don't had a lot of strange stuff going on, man. And so I mean, we the military these type of activities they always don't come on, bro. They always creating these illusions for people. So I mean, when you talking about that kind of money, and that kind of power, man, we don't. Truth be told, we don't know. I
right,
mean, they can tell us anything. We don't know if he dead or alive. We don't know nothing.
indeed.
Only thing we know is he had an eye he was dealing with pedophilia. He was dealing with
Mm,
sex trafficking. We know these things here for sure. And guess what? If he had one island, who to say he ain't got two or three more? And not
fact.
only that, if he had that island, they showing us the house. What about if he got an underground?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we don't know
Indeed.
what he got going on. He could be right while they walking around in the house. He could be up on. I
Question.
mean, and we
Right.
do know we don't figured out that he had a lot of power for us dealing with politicians and things of this nature. So I mean, hey, when you got that kind of power, got those kind of people in a position. I mean, who to say he ain't blackballing them or blackmailing them? To hey man, y'all better get me out of this. Y'all
Indeed.
better get me out.
Absolutely, my brother.
Y'all better get me out of here, and you better make sure that don't happen too. So we don't really know, man. This sucker might not even be.
Right. No question. Absolutely. Very possible, my good brother. Just like you say, because we know that they also control the narrative of things. They the one in certain positions and powers at this point. And I'm glad you made mention of what you said, because to my understanding, he had not only a great deal of wealth, but he also had great access to a lot of real estate. Jeffrey Epstein did, and it was stated that, he considered to have been hung, he hung himself inside of the prison system.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows, like you say, was he actually deceased? Or, was that actually something true? What conspiracies have shown is this also, which is something to think on. They come to find out that just as in situation that came up with Kim Porter and even Jeffrey Epstein and a lot of the people who was involved, the court somehow is the one that looked over each one of these individuals' bodies. So they're dealing with the same coroner who's coming in pronouncing these people here dead and pronouncing these individuals for whatever they feel like they want to label them as. Which is some are saying now this is part of the sacrifice that they have some people that's involved. They're actually paying money to they have inside that they're using to put these fake reports and other things out to where it look
Mm-hmm.
like these people may be dead or they're dying in a certain way when in reality They just writing it off as these people in this way, and it may not necessarily be as they're fully saying.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why it's so important to do more knowledge and, like we say, research, and for the people to come together to start trying to look some of these things and some of these people that's in these positions that we look to as being leaders and start holding them accountable for some of their acts.
Mm-hmm.
But before end the presentation, do you have anything that you would like to say, my good brother? Before we move forward.
Yeah, that's just that you hit it on. I'm with you on that, brother. We want some solution. We want somebody punished for these lewd acts, man. I mean, this disgusting. I mean, kids, man. I mean, anybody, period. Like, I mean, said to all this stuff here, man. I mean, why would you if you got that kind of money, you mean tell me the strip club, you don't know the strip club ain't open? They closed the strip club down? Or what the whole scrolls. I hate to say it,
Mhm,
and so
mhm,
blunt about it, but you
right,
got numerous prostitution areas where you can just go and pay for your little something. It might
yeah,
not be right, and we not saying it right, but
right,
at least you ain't kidnapping someone, or at least you ain't messing with a child.
right.
Come on, man,
Good
that's
question.
sick, man. And the sad part
Yeah,
about it, this
mm,
country is cool. See,
yeah,
that's
no
why
doubt.
it ain't been going on because
Mm,
you look in the instances of brothers and sisters that sentenced in the penitentiary or through the judicial system with those type of charges, lewd act charges amongst kids and all these kind of charges. You'll see that they give them less time than they do someone selling a drug.
mm,
I
mhm.
mean that pathetic.
Yeah, no question, bro. Really
That's
is.
how I feel about that kind of make me feel some kind of way, man. I'm gonna pass it on back to you, my brother.
Man, I totally understand, good brother. Anytime children is involved, and anything that we have a stance on, we stand on protecting the babies from all aspects. And it is unfortunate that you have people that you think they're responsible and have means to care about humanity, especially look over children in a way, and they actually pedophile these children or actually manipulate, molestate these children in some form to the point where they show that they don't even have that type of love or even care for the child. They also insider files that Trump made a statement about a child at one point is saying something to the extent that if the child kept blabbing off at him or didn't bow down to what he was standing on or saying, that he would turn the child into fertilizer. And for what he was saying is in 1996, there was some conspiracy that were wrapped around his golf course and saying that a lot of children, once they were pedophile or they was sacrificing that life, that they would then be ground up inside of on the golf course and be scattered around as fertilizer. So this was some of the statements that he actually made to one child at one point for who disrespected him. So when we hear things like that, we already know that we're dealing with those who are somewhat humane when it comes down to certain livelihood and the best interest for the people. So I would say that we all need to start taking a stance and start looking at some of these people that we have in these positions. And we will come to find out that we have a shadow government. And until we do what's right, we will continue to have these same type of issues. And we would say that, sister, whatever help that you need or counseling that you may need to go to, that we do ask that you do some. And we also ask that if anyone out there who's going through any type of oppression, anyone who's dealing with any type of molestation or being inflicted in any type of way, and we ask that y'all go and reach out to the right people to try to give them some type of assistance in some form. Because we do know that there are a lot of victims out there who are going through certain things but don't have enough of a voice to reach the right people in order for some of their condition to get changed. Again, brother, before we wrap up the presentation, do you have one final statement that you want to say?
If you got kids, man, keep an eye on them, and keep them safe, and always ask them what's going on in their life, man, when they're around different
Question. Absolutely. That's a fact, my brother. Definitely. I do always thank you, my good brother, for coming in, tuning with me, and co-hosting my brothers. It's always having you on, good brother.
people. Indeed.
If you haven't do like the channel as well, if you have any comments, please leave in the comments in the comment section. Again, we'd like to thank you all for tuning in with us. Until next time, family, we do send our love and peace out to you.